A warm welcome. This is Shobya Clinton inviting you on another episode on COTV, a voice that matters. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Being an entrepreneur is not everyone's cup of tea. On that note, we have Sudaraka Jayashanka as the founder, chief executive officer of Venturas. Sudaraka is a remarkable intellect with outstanding ability to transform the digital industry. It's a pleasure having with you as Sudaraka.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Let me start off by asking you, what are the qualities a good entrepreneur should possess?
Oh, it's a good question. And I think it's a very subjective question based on the industry. If you're in the IT industry, your entrepreneurship could be different from supply chain if you're in a different kind of industry. So I think the most important thing is to understand entrepreneurship is not something that you can just study and decide that you can become an entrepreneur. What we see today, most of Facebook posts and YouTube channels and all that. It's a good thing that Sri Lanka is promoting entrepreneurship, but I think they should give the weight because the people who being entrepreneurs are the ones who knows the struggle that they have been through. So you have enough experience in the industry, and at one point, I think it's a magical feeling that you get to your head saying that, okay, now it's enough, I can do something on my own. There you decide that you are going to become an entrepreneur. Maybe you don't even know it, it's just that feeling that you get, okay, I can start something on my own. But for you to do that, you have to learn quite a lot. Being in so many incidents, face so many incidents, and then face all the problems and see everything before you start. Because then that's the experience that you pretty much need for you to become an entrepreneur. So what makes you a good entrepreneur is, from my point of view, a person who had learned quite a lot of lessons, right, and made so many mistakes. I think that's what makes you a good entrepreneur, right? And then, because you know the problems that you face, right? You know the answers for it, because throughout your career, right, you started and you work for somebody else. What you've been doing is solving these problems, right, for other people. And eventually, at one point, you know how to solve all these problems. And that's where you decide, okay, now I have the magical potion or the ingredient to become an entrepreneur. So I can provide a better service for these clients. I can create my own magic formula. And that's where you kind of have those good qualities to become an entrepreneur. And after that, it's a journey, right? So when your journey starts, it's not going to be, as I mentioned, a simple journey, right? Because you will face so many challenges.
Okay, let us know, Sudaraka, what challenges did you face in your journey?
Well, the first thing was, I was in the industry and I was holding some key positions in the IT industry, some companies that I work. So the decision that you make to leave the companies and start something on your own, the first one is that whether I will be successful, because it's really uncertain, right? Because you have some savings and then you need to kind of dump all these savings and start a company, right? And the commitment is really important, because then you have to discuss with your family, I'm going to go on my own, and you need to be on board with this, because we might have some problems. We will suffer because sometimes I might not be able to bring bread at home because we have those problems. Are you ready for that? So that's a commitment, first of all. You have to be really sure that you're committing yourself to this. If you have second thoughts, don't become an entrepreneur. That's my advice. So I know that most of the media is creating this hype, entrepreneurship is really cool and all that thing. And nowadays, the moment you hear an entrepreneur, you visualize a rich person. That's not the case. Entrepreneurs are poor, right? I mean, it's just that when you start, you put everything, and then until you kind of get something, a project, an actual project that actually pays you, you will struggle a lot, right? I mean, you will ask money from friends, family, and all that, just to make sure that you build the right set of environment for your business. But moment you land a project, I mean, that's where you have to really start. Okay, now I have something in my hand, right? Now you have to start planning your cash flow, right? Set aside the budget for marketing. How do you land on your next business, right? When you have that little money with you, that's where you need to start strategizing. The first deal is the most hardest one. And when you get that, that's where your journey starts.
Let us know, Sudaraka, the strategies you use to market your business.
Yeah, so in terms of strategies, as immediately when you start, you have no clue what to do, right? You are not a big company and you don't have a massive budget to hire an external strategist for you or to build a strategy team inside the company. So you will be the only person who's responsible for your business to build a strategy. So initially, one thing that we did was with the initial investment, this is way before we landed the project, with the budget that we had. What we did was we really focused on two things. One is the specialization, how your company stands out among the competition, and you need to have some kind of specialization. So what we did was we actually built through our learning from the previous experiences a foolproof system. When you go and talk to a client, we can show them how we can make the customer successful with these processes, these technologies that we're doing. So what we did was we initially made sure that we have the right ingredients, the technologies, the frameworks, the processes, the governance structures, and all that. Right? So that's the most important thing. That's your arsenal of weapons. And the second part is that you need to talk about it, right? You have this, and then you need to talk about it. The second most important thing, the strategy that we use is the content, right? We build content and we publish it through all the social channels. We don't need to have TV channels or radio spots or anything like that. Social media is powerful enough to take you to the next level. So what we did was we followed a very strong content strategy. When I say content, it is the relevant content, right? The technology that we're in, we constantly talk about it with blog posts, articles, white papers, so on and so forth. And then what you need to do is not just publishing the content, but also you have to monitor the engagement. Who are the people engaging with your content? And then you specifically target them and go with events and all that things. If you do that, it's very easy for you to land the first deal. That's what we follow.
Let us know, Sudaraka, what made Venturas special?
Right, okay, so as I mentioned, it is imperative that you build specialization in your company. So what we did was that we are specifically in the business of building solutions for our clients. We build apps, we build platforms, we build enterprise solutions. But everybody else is doing that too. Right? What you need to make sure is that how your clients find you more attractive by doing that. So this is where we build focus, segmentation, and all that things. So we started building this idea of digital inclusiveness, right? So we target on the communities who does not have access to technology, right? And we work with the clients who provide solutions for these communities. For example, if you take Africa, right? There's a lot of rural areas without digital connectivity and all that. But there are non-governmental organizations. If you take people like World Food Program or UN or whatever it is, they build constantly technological innovation to serve these particular communities, and even banks and telecommunications. So what we do is we work with these people to build a digital inclusive economy for all these communities. That is what we are specialized in, and these are the clients that we work with. So today we work with World Vision, we work with almost many non-governmental organizations. We work with quite a lot of banks. So pretty much in the African region, we have a very good footstep. And now we're expanding to other regions as well. So we recently established Australian office. Target is to bring in more inclusivity in terms of solutions to that region, Asia Pacific region as well. And so that's what we are in. This is the space that we are playing.
Thank you very much, Sudaraka, for coming on board with us. It's great having you here.
Thank you very much for having me.
Signing off, this is Shobya Clinton from COTV, a voice that matters.